So, I'm really happy being here. I come from Greece. You're good neighbors. Who am I? My name is Peter Perlepes. I'm a senior frontline engineer at Welcome Pickups. I'm also an independent analytics consultant. Basically, the first thing is that what is the frontline? Frontline basically is just a self-made title. It means that I'm responsible on the technical aspect for anything that touches the user, either that be the UI, interactions, code, of course code. We do code. This is not a marketing presentation so much. Basically this thing. This is my email. Please do contact me. And another thing is that I really like the setup that Boris has made here for the Q&A. So please just shoot. So what are we going to discuss today? As the abstract says, we're going to talk about Google Optimize, which is a new tool by Google that is made for website experimentation. The first thing that we will see is what is website experimentation. If I could just show you the tool, many hours would not be enough, trainings wouldn't be enough, too many slides wouldn't be enough. It needs experience. But the thing that I can do in this 35 to 40 minutes is that I can show you a bit of the tool, just enough to spark your curiosity, to show you some of its basic functionalities and what it's good for. And the other part is that I can show you how and why do we need A/B testing? Why do we need experimentation? And how can we, let's say, integrate that into our own company? Simple question. From all of you, who does work in a large company? Yeah, okay, like 30%. Who works on a startup? Okay. I believe the rest of you are just students or something. So the thing is, we all need it. Things are moving incredibly slow. We don't have time to, let's say, go based on instinct. We could design on instinct, but numbers don't lie. So what's A/B testing? A/B testing. You think it's something like grammar? No. It's just comparing two versions or more against each other on the live environment against real users. And then you count the data and see, hey, is this success? Is it a failure? So is this so simple? This is the most basic case that I see on my consultations in most companies. They believe that they do A/B testing with this. You start with an initial case that, for example, the Learn More button on our website is better suited to be orange. Okay, this is the assumption that we have. Of course, it's based on instinct. And what we do, we just test it. We get our favorite A/B testing tool is that Optimizely, Visual Website Optimizer, Google Optimize. Yeah, they have the same results. We test it. Yeah, we see that on the one side we have both blue, and on the other one we have Learn More with orange. That's the case. The outcome? Yeah, okay, we see that the blue button has 26.5% clicks, and then the downloads is to 9.5%. On the other hand, we have the Learn More, which has the same percentage of clicks, but more downloads. Okay, so the assumption is that we deploy B, so that means profit. Okay, my presentation is done. That was it. No. Let's see. What did we do wrong? Not so fast. Some credible sources, like HBR, Harvard Business Review, I hope you all know it, says that 80 to 90% of A/B tests are flukes. They don't have any statistical significance. Next one, the founder of AppSumo. AppSumo is just, let's say, a marketplace for cool apps with offers and stuff. He says that 1 out of 8 A/B tests are significant. Okay, this might hit the mark. And then from convert.com, one of the largest, let's say, conversion rate optimization agencies, says that we have 14% success on clients that are not agencies. Agencies do lie, I can tell you from the inside. So we want to do A/B testing right. Let's take a step back. Let's see what we want to do. Because I don't know if you work in large organizations, startups, or you just want to introduce it like, for example, something that I do on my own. But you have to, let's say, make them believe that what you do is something to be invested on. If I go tomorrow on my CEO's office and say, hey, you know, I need like 3 people, 4 months, a couple $100K, what are you going to do? I will tell him A/B testing. He's going to tell me, no, this doesn't make sense. So what do we do? That's why we have to take a step back and see in which larger family does A/B testing belongs. So this is a quote about quality. It says that most of the times, how good the product is not defined by its objective value, but by how much it exceeds user expectations. You can see it in your everyday lives. You have products that might not have the greatest specs, but you do buy them because you felt the need to have them. That's something that it's not objective. It's something more like the charm that the product has in its design. So what we want to do is just find what this charm is for a product. That's what we want to do. The first thing that you're going to ask me is, what is quality? Quality could be thousands of things. Could be, let's say, from the fathers of quality assurance, like Philip Crosby, we see that the definition of quality is conformance to requirements. Requirements is something completely objective. It does this, it does not do that. So it's pretty strict. Another one, Joseph Juran, another of the fathers of quality assurance and control management, he says that quality means that the product meets customer needs, leading to customer satisfaction. Satisfaction is not something so objective. So what's the middle, let's say, the silver lining? The third one is just the ISO 9001, which is just a specification that says that quality is in the level in which a product satisfies a group of inherent characteristics. Okay, kind of in the middle, but mostly objective. I think you don't care about any of this. You just care what is the quality of my product. On some of the most known groups, we have some qualities that we look for, either that be objectively or internally. When we talk about banking, you want to be sure that your money is in the right place. So this product should inspire complete trust. Then we have teaching, which teachers should understand you, should show compassion. That's a quality that in teaching as a whole group. Then we have the news and the media industry. That's a tough one. We expect from media that they have cohesion and accountability, meaning that the news that we see are not influenced by any other factor, and every time they're correct and they're timely. Then we can go on sports products that we look for, let's say, safety. We can use, for example, this new rope that I have without breaking my neck. And then we have the ease of use. It could be easy. It shouldn't be like cables everywhere and roads and stuff. Then, how we achieve our own. There's a process. There's a process that has been implemented and shown many years ago that can show us what's the right way. The Shewhart cycle. I don't believe most of us are engineers, as I think. The Shewhart cycle isn't something that we have in our mind, either that be on our studies or that could be on our daily job. So Robert Shewhart was a physicist, as I remember, and it's the father of software quality assurance. What he says, how do you find this quality? This quality can be found by this simple yet unrealistic, as I have seen in most companies, cycle. It's plan, do, check, and act. This is close to the scientific method also, but let me just describe briefly what we should do in each of these steps. We plan, we have an objective, we monitor things, we know what we want to do, and we don't cut corners because, well, we have to present something. We do. We run the experiment. We deploy the code. We do anything that you think do in your role means. We check. We have amazing tools like Google Analytics, Hotjar, or anything you might like. We check. We see that this change, did it have an impact? Did it have a positive, a negative impact? And then you act. You see that what I've done now gives me a hint about what my users want, what my product should be shaped like. This is a basic cycle that I believe it's really helpful to keep it in mind, because we all know that in our everyday lives, we cannot be so strict. Let's see another thing that, in my opinion, is the basis of our age and of our industry. A famous quote, I don't exactly remember who said it, is that data is the new oil. I kind of disagree, and I can tell you that data is the new soil. It's the base of everything. And it should be. We have data. We collect, for example, most websites have 1, 2, 3 tracking systems. That be Snowplow, Google Analytics, as I've said, Hotjar, Facebook Pixel. You gather all those data. These data points, this data with many columns, many rows, you have your internal BI, and then you're like, okay, what do I do? The next step in this pyramid is just information. How do we go from data to information? Information comes from transforming the data into a more, let's say, digestible presentation layer, meaning that we take all those data points and we can form, for example, a table that has all this data aggregated and can tell us what do we do right or what do we do wrong. The next step is knowledge. We have this information, these tables and tables of data. How do we apply it on our own context? For example, if we have a blog, we can say that we don't care about, for example, publishers that want to have ads on our website. We mostly care about how many people have read the articles. That's the context of our business. And then comes wisdom. Wisdom is pretty abstract, but let me tell you an example of wisdom. Imagine that you have to design an application that when you see some cool pictures, you have to swipe right if you want or if you like this picture, and swipe left if you don't like it. I don't know if this reminds you of anything. Yeah, and the first thing is that, okay, we will design it the right one, meaning the one that we like, should be green. And the left one, the one that we don't like, it's red. Yeah, good assumption. But let me tell you that in the Eastern world, in some countries like China, red means happiness. So it's kind of a bit of confusing. Then the next step that might come from inherent judgment, from, let's say, the experience that makes us mostly effective, says that, hey, we will change that and have a smiley face for the ones that we like, and a sad one, the ones that we don't like. This is pretty obvious, but it works in most cases. That's wisdom. Let's go a bit specific. A/B testing essentials. Some tips and kind of tricks that you can use in your, let's say, effort to get A/B testing in your organization and see key results. What is absolutely necessary? You cannot do A/B testing without this. I will start from the end, just to kill a bit your dreams. Enough traffic. You cannot have, for example, 50 users per day and expect all this thing to work out and to be significant. As I believe the hype lately is machine learning, it's kind of a similar algorithm that runs our A/B tests. It needs tons and tons of data. And the more it has, the greater the results are. So from the start now, customer-driven culture. We cannot do A/B testing, we cannot do experimentation without being customer-driven. We cannot just decide on a whim or decide that, hey, we like this change, we're 5 people, so it's correct. We don't care, the users are wrong. No, this doesn't work this way. We have to have clear business targets. If we're a company or a startup or an individual that does not have clear objectives and targets for what he wants to achieve, it's hopeless. Because if you change every month your targets, your users will just change, and then anything that you do to improve goes to waste. Next, clear test targets. We do a test. What do we check? We expect transactions to go up. We expect conversion rate to go up. We expect, let's say, more signups. It's clear. It's not that we run a test and we check which metric goes up and say, yeah, that was our target. That was our target from the beginning. No, it doesn't work this way. Be prepared to be proven wrong. As we said on the start, customer-driven culture requires us to be ready to get our, let's say, assumptions, our tests, our variations, our thoughts rejected. Because it's the users that drive the business, it's not us. So we have to be prepared to be wrong. And not just on the users. As we'll see later, when you're in your, let's say, in your stand-up, in your retrospective, in your planning, you will see that I have this design in mind, Boris has another one. I might be wrong. He might be wrong. It's nothing to worry about. What to test? We should test everything. And the thing is that we can test everything. Have you thought when you order pizza here, they tell you, hey, do you want a Coke with this one? Or how about this ice cream? You can A/B test that. Maybe it can say, hey, with the choice of your pizza, this ice cream is better. Let me tell you, they do that already. So you're already part of an experiment. We can go in different offers. We have an e-commerce shop, and we say that this product, 1 + 1. Thing is, 50% off could work better. We should test that. PDF guides. If you're working on a product, mostly software, we can test how do we express things in our documentation, on the manual that we provide. From my own experience, if something in the guide that I download is unreadable or it's really baffling, I won't download your product. SMS marketing. We do SMS marketing. I don't know if anyone of you are working in a company that does that. We can send different SMS on other customers and see how this goes. Emails, that's pretty straightforward, and newsletters also. We can test delivery methods. For example, if some of our clients is ordering something close to Sofia, we can just test if express delivery works. If he's, let me make it a bit more charming. We can test if express delivery works, and we can add some padding of dollars on top of it. So more win for us. Search engine metadata. I know many people are not aware that we can also A/B test the metadata in our pages, meaning that some users, when searching for example, GDG DevFest 2018, will see a different description, and some other ones will see the original. Pretty interesting. I believe the gist of the first part of my talk is this: be bold. There's no greatest color, there's no greatest text, there's no greatest font. This is just micro optimizations bring micro results on our case. We should aim for 3 things: relevance, value, and call to action. What's relevance? Relevance is how close to what our users want is the change that we're about to make. What's value? If the user is on our website, he thinks, what do I get more of this change? And the next one, the call to action, is just be more specific. It's just telling him in a more, let's say, in a way that's more understandable what he has to do. Well, the third one, let me tell you an example for our cases in experimentation. You can try and have your add to cart button in red, in bold red. Of course, almost everybody will click it because it just takes the eye away. Call to action is not that, but it's something close. The hard part. As I believe it's on the website also, on my previous company, I was a lead analytics engineer, and we conducted a Google case study for A/B testing that we did on a large banking organization. I don't know if you know, it's Postbank here in Bulgaria. Yeah, it's basically the same group. Let me tell you that I don't know if any one of you works in a banking organization, but it's pretty hard to change things there. And a change like A/B testing, where one might refresh the page and see another variation, it's pretty hard to drill this into people working into banks. This is the thing that we faced. Let's be honest, they were the guys with the cartwheel. Oh, we're fine. But with Google Optimize and experimentation, we give you the wheels. That's the thing. We should let everybody know what we do. We cannot just go rogue and just change some things on the website. We should let customer support know that we're doing tests. Why is that? If you have a customer support, let's say, department in your company, they mostly know the website and the things that user might have made wrong. They know this by heart. If you change something, they would be like, hello, sir. Yeah, just click this on the top right of the website. He will tell her, there's nothing there. And basically, the discussion goes to bottom. Marketing and business intelligence, we should let those guys know. These poor people just want to see results, and if something goes wrong, oh, they're about to have a hard time. Sales also, you cannot imagine a situation that you're pitching your product, and it's not the same as you thought, so it's pretty embarrassing. C-level, that's the toughest one. Let's be honest. If the CEO likes, for example, this color, the website and the whole, let's say, flow should be of this color. If he wakes up one day and he sees a different color, yeah, the phones will be ringing. So he should be aware. This has happened, by the way. One of the most important things that move businesses and move large organizations, and we need this for experimentation, either that be A/B tests or changing software or anything that we might need to, let's say, do. We believe it's right. It's money model. Every change should reflect into clear value. And what's clearer than money? Well, for organizations, it's the clearest. As we can see here, you can have the task, what we want to change, what we want to experiment on, and then you can have some things like descriptions, some time to develop this stuff, time to get this out, and the expected results. Don't be afraid. It's not something if you're wrong. If you expect 12% increase, and then you get a 2, it's okay. It's okay because there's no failure in experimentation. With experimentation, we learn more about our audience. We learn more about our users, and so we become better at it. So why not experiment? Data-driven. It's a word that's been thrown around mostly anywhere. We become data-driven. What does this mean? Do you know of Hippo? It's basically this fat dude here. Hippo is the highest paid person in the room. For example, you're in a meeting, and then you have your let's say marketing department says, oh, this should take priority. You have sales that says, my own should take priority. You have IT that says, nothing takes priority. And then you have customer support that says, guys, please help us, give us some priority. Then we decide as the experts that we should do that. We find a clear road, and then the highest paid person just gets in the room, says, no, we do that. And we do that. That's the highest paid person opinion. We cannot go against it. We don't have this, though, with experimentation culture. We can just test everything. Test if this feature, if this could be mostly done in a quicker fashion, and we can test if the results are amazing, we do that. We can test the, let's say, the crazy idea of the highest paid person, and we'll see that he's wrong, so everything is open. One thing that I do not know how many of you are into data and analytics. One of the gurus of data analytics, Avinash Kaushik, says that when you go into experimentation, when you have experimentation culture in your own organization, it becomes really data-driven because everyone can have skin in the game. This means that I can voice my opinion. We can just test it and see what's wrong. Boris can voice his opinion. We can test it and see if it's wrong. And let me tell you what, it's pretty nice seeing a guy from IT proposing a change on the user interface, and that goes pretty well. So everyone can pitch in and see what works, and they feel a sense of team, a sense of purpose. That's one of the things that experimentation does in your organization. Let's go into more core stuff now. The first half is done. You can think of the things that we've said as, let's say, the thing that we should keep in mind as abstract, but now we're going to action. Google Optimize, this tool by Google that allows us to do website tests and see the clear results that are reflected on our users, on our experience and data. Just some facts about Google Optimize. You can do changes on small things, as we'll see later, and you might do a full page redesign using a really good editor that it has and we'll show in the demo. It has some robust in-platform reporting, meaning that you set up your goals and see the results with some extra, let's say, metrics like probability and some more machine learning stuff. But the core thing is that it allows us to connect CRO, conversion rate optimization, business targets with website tests. That means that we can have a goal increasing, for example, retention on our users, which is a clear business goal, and then we can check that through testing. We test, we see the results, and then we decide. It's a win-win situation. Why use it? Why we should go with Google Optimize and not Optimizely, Visual Website Optimizer, or any other tool that goes up? It's part of the family. We're in GDG. We dig Google tools. So I don't know if you're familiar with this. The first one is Google Ads, the thing that brings money, of course. The next one is DoubleClick, a thing that brings more money because it's like Google Ads, but for premium clients. Data Studio, we can show the results of our experiments in a beautiful way, more presentable. Of course, Google Analytics. It's connected, it's required, and if you're doing any kind of serious business, you should check that out. Google Tag Manager, our Suits powerhouse. You can just manage anything that goes on in your website, and you can skip the IT checks because the deploy on Google Tag Manager is just a button. So you can just skip the whole IT thing we should deploy later. You just publish it. And BigQuery from Google Cloud Platform, which is just a huge, let's say, data querying engine that you can use to check row by row the results of your experiment in a pretty, let's say, SQL-like fashion. Types of tests that we can do with Google Optimize. ABN, this is the classic A/B test that we hear about. ABN means that we have 2 variations or more, n variations, that they're different in a specific element, and they have different characteristics for it. The position, the text, the color, this is the simplest case. But it can also go a bit further. It could be a new pop-up. It could be a new hover effect, or it could be a new form. Or it could be, I think we'll see one in the demo, it could be notifications. Why not just test that? The core thing here is that we compare significant changes in similar page components. As we said previously, just changing some, let's say, wording, most of the times doesn't make the wheel go up. Multivariate tests. This is a bit tough. It requires huge amounts of traffic because you're comparing 2 power n of things, meaning that if we have 3 variations, we then have 9 different results that we can take. Multivariate tests mean that you just combine the changes from all this, you change different elements, and all this combination is being tested against each other. So that's why it's 2 power n. Just a tip here, the thing that we can go about and be really sure that we need multivariate tests, I personally haven't seen many of them go the way we expect, is just do a lot of these, do a lot of A/B tests, be sure the changes that each component makes, and then at the end, you just take the best ones and you compare them with each other and see which combination of the best gets the highest results. That's my personal tip on that. Redirect tests, meaning that we have a page and for some users we'll show a full redesign in a new, let's say, URL. You can have, for example, your landing page /landing, and then you can have your other landing page that's just landing /winter or whatever. That's just another completely different page. Except for design, we can just check things like a new checkout implementation or a user registration flow and stuff. This requires backend interaction most of the times. The other things, as we will see, can be done from yours truly. Targeting. It would be kind of useless if we wouldn't have targeting on our tests, meaning that we want to experiment with something. Should all of our users see that? I believe not. So Google Optimize allows us to target the users that will be eligible and then see the experiment. Based on all those things, we'll just go over them and see some cases that might be fine for our case. The simple one, target based on URL. You can just check based on the full URL, meaning the devfest.bg. Something other than that doesn't run. Host, devfest.bg, or for example, your own. You can test based on path, meaning users that go on /agenda, or you can just target fragments for those of you that are using single page apps and stuff. Those that go on the offers fragment. Google Ads, this is the big fish here. You can target based on the ads that you're currently running, meaning that we have our campaign. Oh, which ones of you know about Google Ads? Okay, most than expected. So basically, you can target the experiment based on your campaign, meaning for the ones that don't know, the ad that you click, for example, or the group of ads that you click when you search on Google or go on some pages that have places for ads. You can choose based on the ad group, the keyword. These are some more specific Google Ads stuff, but I believe it's enough to tell you that we can be pretty specific on the ads that we put our money on and we want to experiment. Audience. This is only available in Optimize 360. There's a paid plan. It's part of the 360 suite of Google, and it allows us to use segments and audiences that we have created on Google Analytics. It's pretty powerful, and you can see some examples here. We can target users that have more than 30 purchases on our site. We can target users that have subscribed, for example, in our newsletters. And we can target also cart abandoners and any other segment that we like. Behavior, another type of targeting which just shows how we can target users based on the time they have spent on our website. If I just go on a site that has Google Analytics, we get a cookie that just says the initial data we have entered this site. So you can target users based on the time they have spent. A good case could be to test first-time users, meaning that people that visit our website and have less than 30 seconds of experience on our site. And also, we can target visitors. This is the second case that come from a specific referral. As we see on the example, we can have visitors that have come to us, for example, from a Blogger link, like I say here. They see the same theme of the blog that they came in our website. So they're most likely to convert. Geotargeting. We can target based on geography. And this goes from city to region to metro. There are no many metropolis in Europe, as I have seen. And basically country. How can we use that? We can target users that are close to Athens. We can target users that are close to Sofia. And a good case for that is that if we have physical stores in Sofia, we can say that target these users that are in this proximity and show them a notification that, hey, you know, if you come on our store, we have a good offer for you. So that's a good case. Technology. We can target based on browsers, operating system, devices, and specific device info. I can target users that have, for example, Samsung Galaxy S5 or iPhone X or any sort of that. Cookie. We can target first-party cookies. Most websites and most frameworks, as I know of, use first-party cookies to show us that you're logged in, you're not logged in, or you have specific settings. If you're on a service that allows you to check themes and stuff, this is mostly stored on a cookie. You can target that. JavaScript. Yeah, okay, modern web. We can do variables, we can do functions. With JavaScript variable targeting, we can say that check this variable, and if it fulfills our, let's say, the target that we want, run the experiment. This could be, there could be many appliances on single-page apps and cool stuff like React or Vue that you might use with that. And the second case is custom JavaScript, which is just a function that gives us the flexibility to run our own functions and create rules based on the result, meaning you just return the value and everything goes expected to that. URL parameters. Pretty understandable. We have the query parameters on our URLs. This is a Google link. You have the query. You have the order, which could be, let's say, the search order. And then you have the folder. So here we can target users that were searching on our own site for shoes. Show them a specific, let's say, product. Data layer. For anyone that has implemented Google Tag Manager knows that data layer is, for example, the single source of truth for our data, and it's the thing that is being used in the whole implementation. So you can target this and leverage the whole power of Google Tag Manager. Mix and match. This is not just one thing or the other. You can just select from everything, make your own rules, and your experiment can be pretty specific. So let's go for a demo. Let's see all these things in action. Let's pray to the demo gods that this goes well. So I have set up a website called Limitless Bazin 88-19, which is basically just a website with a product page that we'll see when it loads. We have this product page, just your regular one. You can just change the colors here. It has an add to cart button and some selections you might make. This is the simplest case. So we open Google Optimize. The first screen is that, after you just accept some terms and agreements. You just go create an account, just give your name, some acknowledgements, and this is mostly done. We can do this account. Okay, I acknowledge that. Okay. You can give a container name. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's just a grouping that might mostly be the name. We go like limitless Bazin. Okay, that was it. We can go and see one container that I have already made. It's basically the same setup, nothing more. I have linked a Google Analytics property that I have so that Google Optimize can check the data, can link this and allows us then to collect every interaction that the user has made. And so what we want to do, we want to create an experience. Well, it doesn't say create an experiment. It was pretty terrifying for most people. We create an experience. Our experience could be like test experience. No, we could go about test, let's say add to cart text. Then we select the type. As we have seen later, we have A, B, N tests, multivariate, redirects, and then depersonalization. This is a new thing from Google Optimize that allows you to just make this change, all your users see it. It's nothing more than that. So let's go on the classic case of ABN. We also should input the URL of our website. Let's create it. Just to let you know, I haven't done any work on that, so it's the thing that you will also see when you set this up. We have here the original. This is the variant that anyone sees. Let's see how easy it is to just create a variation. Let's say the different text GDG. We just name our experiment variant with an understandable thing of what we're going to change. We just click that. We're getting prompted to save. And here's all the magic. Google Optimize gets us on the page that we have set and opens an interface, the what you see is what you get kind of editor, that allows us to change anything we want on the website. Let's go and implement the thing that we've said. If you see, if we just click here, just edit, we can just edit the text, meaning that let's go GDG Sofia is the best GDG ever. Okay, we're finished. We can do some more stuff. For example, I don't like this picture, so just it will go away. Yeah, it needs to explicitly go away. This title, it should go around. We have reordering, okay. Move anywhere. Great. It's amazing. Okay, let's be a bit more serious. We can take all these changes, revert them. and show you a bit of our magic. So we go here, bits app. It's a heading of our product. We add it. We save. We set an objective. You should have an objective for your experiments, meaning that it could be a custom, it could be your Google Analytics goals and stuff, or you can just take one from the already inside from the system. For example, we selected bounds. You can add a description hypothesis. This doesn't make any difference. And then we go on the things that we've said previously. We have the targeting. Please focus here that are the rules that our experiment will run on. We can have this URL match. We can do whatever we like. We can just delete this rule. We can edit it. And what I would like to do is just go on technology, select the device category, and go on mobile. Okay. Good. So I click save. It's just 50-50. That was it. Okay. We don't care. It's already installed. So this live. Okay, we wait a bit. Can you please just go on this URL? I will just add this here. Get your mobile and go on this URL. And you can just, I will delete this. Okay. Please visit this website on your phone, and you can check what is rendered on you and what's rendered, for example, on the one beside you. And we hopefully expect that the text on Boris is different, on me is different, and on most of our users it's different. Do you see different stuff? Yeah. It works. So this is just a glimpse of what we can do with tests. It's just so fast. For these basic UI changes, we can also go overboard with things like whole redesigns and stuff. But the thing that I want you to take from this talk, and the thing that I would be really glad if that happened, is that when you go home this evening, or no, just give that to your family. When you go home Monday evening, give a check on Google Optimize and give a check on how experimentation can help. Thank you.
So maybe we're just behind schedule. Just a couple of questions, kind of selected also by me. I admit that I'm going to do some filtering because some of the questions were kind of answered throughout your session. So one of them is, how do you feel about leaving items in split tests due to seasonal changes throughout the year?
So seasonal changes. This is a really good question for starters. Seasonal changes, most of the times, are, for example, for our new winter collection, for our new summer collection, for our new fall collection, if I get the question correctly. I believe that leaving it all year long, it's not so, it wouldn't have any results. The thing that I would do on split tests are redirect tests, as we've said. I would just set this up for this fall and see that on the new landing page, as I've said previously, we have the landing/fall or whatever. And then we compare the results and see what we'll do next fall. Because, as I didn't have time to mention, tests should run at least at least 2 weeks. But for this huge change, meaning that we do a split test for seasonal changes, which are pretty big, as I've seen, we can just go with it for, let's say, 5 weeks, 6. The changes will be pretty big because we're talking about seasonal, and I believe the results would be will show us if our users are into this kind of thing. If changing our experience will have a reflection on the conversions. This question could have been a little bit more specific, but for seasonal and split tests, I would go redesign, do that.
Okay, thanks. And actually, all the questions are cool, so probably we'll get to answer a lot more. Just one more, just in a single sentence, what would you advise a startup regarding such kind of experience?
Yeah, okay. Let's be real. First thing, you have to have traffic for these kinds of things. For testing, you have to have a considerable amount of traffic. But this Google Optimize, you can do, as you have seen, things pretty easy. The thing that I would do, you don't have this traffic. Okay. You can go about a feature that, as we're all developers here, is close to A/B testing, which is just feature flags, meaning that we can have some changes in our product, and that could also be our website, and we can manually change them and see how this reflects on our metrics. Why I say that? You can tell me that, hey, Peter, you're just reinventing the wheel here. That's not the case, because Google Optimize uses an advanced algorithm called Bayesian and Bandit, if I'm not wrong. That's basically a statistic significance algorithm. So it needs large numbers to be fed so it could have clear results. So for the startup thing, since we're all techies, I would go more about something small and custom, and something that we understand from the basis of it. Because, okay, Google Optimize, I have large experience on that, but it changes, and sometimes it's inconclusive. It's just the way it is. So for small startups, we go fast, we do this thing, and we have all the control. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Peter. Very interesting talk indeed. Thank you for coming here. Peter is going to be around, you promise?
Yeah, of course I'll be around. Just come, say hi, and ask me anything. Thank you both for having me here. It's been an honor.
Yeah, just to correct you, it's not me having you, it's the whole community, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for being here.